In this video, we're going to talk about how to use a multimeter to measure things like voltage, current, resistance, inductance, and capacitance. So here I have my Neotech NT8 233D Pro multimeter. Now, first let's talk about the three slots you see here. You want to put the black test lead in the comm slot. If you want to measure things like voltage, capacitance, resistance, frequency, put the red test lead in the red slot on the right. If you want to measure small amounts of current like microamps or milliamps, use the right side as well. If you're measuring large amounts of currents like 5 amps or 8 amps, you want to put the red test lead on the left slot. If you use the right slot and the current is too high, you're going to burn out the fuse. And then you need to get a screwdriver, unscrew this multimeter, open it up, and replace the fuse to get it working again. So just keep that in mind. Now let's talk about the symbols that we see here. So this slot right here, this option is to measure the DC voltage. Next we have the AC voltage represented by the little sine wave that you see there. If you want to measure the resistance, use this setting. If you want to measure continuity or the functionality of a diode, use this. Here, if you want to measure the capacitance of a capacitor, this is where you want to put your dial at. And this is for frequency, for an AC signal. And if you want to measure small amounts of current in microamps or milliamps, you could use the setting here. And this is for a DC current or AC current. DC current stands for direct current, which flows in one direction. AC current stands for alternating current, which flows in both directions. And of course, if you're using this setting, make sure the red test lead is on the left. If you're using these two settings here, make sure the red test lead is on the right. One thing I do like about this particular multimeter are the test leads, because they have the clamps where you can clamp it down to whatever device you're trying to measure or whatever component you want to have measured. So that's one useful feature of this particular multimeter. In this picture, I'm measuring the voltage of these two AA batteries, which is close to 3 volts. As you can see, it's reading 2.97. You want to connect the black lead to the black wire of the battery and the red lead to the red wire of the battery. And make sure the setting is at DC voltage. Now, notice what happens when you reverse the connection. Here I have the red wire attached to the black test lead and the black wire attached to the red test lead. Notice that we have a negative sign displayed in the multimeter. So it simply means that the connection has been reversed. So this is a good way to determine the polarity of the battery. If you see the negative sign, just reverse the connection. If there's no negative sign, then you have it connected the right way. Two common values that you'll often need to measure when using a multimeter are voltage and current. So it's important to know how to measure these things properly. When measuring voltage, you're going to measure it across an element like a resistor. So you want to connect your meter across the resistor, not through it. So that is, you want to connect the meter parallel to a resistor. In order to measure current, the current has to flow through the meter, not across it. So you want to connect the meter in series with the resistors. And so that's the difference between measuring voltage and current. You measure voltage across an element that is in parallel with the element, and to measure current, the current has to flow through the meter, so you connect the meter in series with the circuit. Now, here's a math question for you. What do you think will be the voltage that the meter will read across R1? How do you find the answer? Well, we need to use something called Ohm's law. Voltage is equal to current times resistance. Now we have two resistors in series, so the total resistance is going to be R1 plus R2, that's 150 plus 100, so that's 250 ohms. And we have a 6-volt battery across those two resistors, so using Ohm's law, V equals IR, we have a voltage of 6 and a resistance of 250, so dividing both sides by 250, the current flowing in the circuit is going to be 6 divided by 250. And so the current is 0.024 amps. 1 amp is equal to 1,000 milliamps. So multiplying 0.024 times 1,000 gives us a current of 24 milliamps. Now for the circuit on the right, that's what the meter is going to be measuring. It's going to measure a current of 24 milliamps. Now going back to the circuit on the left, the current that's flowing in that circuit is also 24 milliamps because the voltage of the battery is the same and the value of the two resistors are the same. So to calculate the voltage across R1, we could once again use Ohm's law, V equals IR. So the voltage across R1 is going to be the current that's flowing through it. That's 24 milliamps, which is 0.024 amps, times the resistance of R1, which is 100 ohms. So 100 times 0.024, so the voltage across R1, as read by the multimeter, will be 2.4 volts. So that's how you can calculate it. There's also another method that you could use. Because this circuit forms a voltage divider circuit, you could use this formula. V1 is going to be equal to R1 over R1 plus R2 times the voltage of the battery. So R1 is 100, R1 plus R2, that's 100 plus 150, that's 250, times 6 volts. So 6 times 100 is 600, divided by 250, that's going to give you 2.4 volts as well. So that's another way in which you can calculate the voltage across R1. But now you know how to measure the voltage across a resistor and how to measure the current flowing in a circuit. So just keep these things in mind. So here is a picture that shows how to measure the voltage across a resistor. Current, that is conventional current, will flow from the positive terminal of the battery through the red wire, through the 100 ohm resistor, through the black wire back to the battery. Electrons actually flow in the opposite direction. To measure the voltage across the resistor, simply connect the black test lead and the red test lead across the resistor. And as you can see, we have a voltage of 2.85 volts, which is a little bit less than the open circuit voltage of the battery that you saw in the earlier picture, which was about 2.97 volts. Whenever you connect the battery to a resistor, that resistor is going to draw energy away from the battery, giving it a slight voltage drop. If I were to use a 10 kilo ohm resistor, the voltage across the battery would be like 2.97, maybe 2.96. It wouldn't change much. But when you use a lower resistor value, like 100 ohms or even 10 ohms, the voltage is going to drop more because it's drawing more current away from the battery. So if I were to use a 10 ohm resistor, the voltage across the resistor will be a lot less than 2.85. So just keep that in mind. Whenever energy is drawn from a battery, the voltage across the battery will decrease. The more current that you draw away from the battery, the greater the decrease in voltage across the battery will be. Here is an example of how to measure the current flowing in a circuit. So notice that the multimeter is connected in series with the resistor and the battery. So conventional current will flow from the positive terminal of the battery through the red test lead into the multimeter, out of the black test lead through the resistor, and then through this black wire back to the battery. So the multimeter is connected as part of the circuit. It's in series with the circuit. So you want the current to flow through the multimeter. And we can see that this reading is accurate, 0.029 amps. We know the voltage of the battery is 2.9 volts. And so if you take 2.9 volts divided by the 100 ohm resistor, you're going to get a current of 0.029 amps. Now I could use the milliamp setting, but I'll have to put the red test lead here, and it would give me a reading of 29 milliamps. Now the next function that we're going to talk about is how to measure the resistance of a resistor. So make sure the red test lead is connected to the right side, where you have the resistance symbol, and turn the dial to the resistance symbol, which is the ohms symbol, and just connect the two test leads across the resistor. And for the 100 ohm resistor, we have an actual value of 98.6 ohms. So these resistors are not perfect, so to speak. Even though it says it's a 100 ohm resistor, it's going to vary around 100 ohms. It could be 101, it could be 99, but it's going to be close to 100. But that's how you can measure the resistance of a resistor. Just connect the test leads across it and put the setting at the ohm symbol, and you should be fine. Now this is a completely different multimeter. So I have the black test lead connected to the left side because that's how this type of multimeter should be connected. And looking at the functions here, you can see that there's different values for resistance, and here we have the values for capacitance measured in like microfarads or nanofarads. HFE is for the transistor if you want to measure the amplification of a transistor. This is the power button to turn it on or off. And then here we have the inductance setting. So I'm measuring the capacitance of an electrolytic capacitor. Notice this gray strip right here. That's the negative terminal of the electrolytic capacitor, and you want to connect that to the black test lead. So once you connect the capacitor to the multimeter, just make sure it's at the appropriate setting, and it's going to give you a reading. So this is a 47 microfarad capacitor. So I have the setting at 200 microfarads, and I got a reading of 48.3 microfarads. So that's how you could measure the capacitance of a capacitor. If, for example, I have, let's say, a 10 microfarad capacitor, I will put the setting slightly above that at 20 microfarads so I can get the most accurate reading. Now here we have an inductor, also known as an RF choke, a radio frequency choke, and the inductance of this inductor is 0.1 millihenries, which is the same as 100 microhenries. Now to measure the inductance, you want to choose the appropriate setting here. So because I have a 0.1 millihenry inductor, the best level to use is the 20 millihenry setting, because the other settings are higher, 200 millihenries, 2 henries, 20 henries. So the best one is the 20 millihenry setting. And you can see the measurement is pretty accurate. This is telling me the inductance is 0.1 millihenries, which is in agreement with the label that we see here. So that's how you could use this particular multimeter to measure the inductance of an inductor. Just put it in the appropriate setting and connect the inductor across the two leads.